Send out my shares really quickly. 1 second, guys. I hope you're doing well today. I hope that not only are you having an amazing Monday, that you are rested, you came into the week ready to take on the week, but also you were here actively listening, ready to take notes if needed, ready to join my YouTube if you haven't already, and just overall understand why diets are failing us, why diets aren't supporting us in getting away from the inflammation state and staying away from a place of inflammation, how we are underfed and undernourished when it comes to us getting all of the nutrients from natural sources, but instead we are supplementing them in with fake fibers, fake proteins, non-natural different minerals and vitamins and man-made chemicals all the time, additives and fillers in our food, and how we are doing our body a disservice. And the hidden reason of why we're feeling so bloated, why we're feeling so tired, understanding hormonal imbalances, understanding PCOS, fibroid cysts, all of these are coming from a lifestyle of eating and consuming and not being aware of exactly what it's doing to the body, not understanding how you're being impacted with these foods. And so what we want to do for ourselves today is to understand why dieting does not support us as a whole, and how you could be eating clean, and how you could be resetting and detoxing and doing your fast. And you could be starting over and starting a new thing, doing a keto or a paleo or Weight Watchers. And it still seems like you're waking up tired, you're bloated, you're dealing with the issue of, even though you've been exhausted all day, right before you go to bed, you get a whole bunch of energy, right? Having that emotional irregulation, having a painful menstrual cycle, a heavy cycle, having issues of intense cravings. All of these, or better yet, let me put this in there too, not being able to keep a stable, healthy weight. All of these are not because you're lacking discipline or that there is something wrong with you. All of these are stemming from a place of understanding exactly what is happening inside the body and knowing what inflammation looks like and how it represents itself with these symptoms that you're having. Knowing the underlying issue and really understanding how your body is trying to protect you. The body is trying to support you with giving you these symptoms to let you know there's a way for you to change these issues that you're having going on. There's a way for you to get over the inflammation. There's a way for you to rid the inflammation and not have to keep dealing with it. There's a way for you to not have fatigue every single day, to actually wake up with energy. But most women are taught, in order for you to be able to conquer the day and to get through the day and to be successful, you have to ignore the symptoms that are coming from your body. You have to ignore the regulation that comes from the body. You have to ignore what gives you peace, which is you knowing exactly what is going on, getting to the root cause, and then fixing it with your habits. But instead, we are taught to push through. That making peace, feeling comfortable, and supporting the body is pushing through the pain, pushing through the issues that you're having go on, pushing through your menstrual cycle, when this is not what we were designed to do. And since we weren't designed to do these things, now that we are operating this way, now that we are functioning this way, and we do this daily, we do this constantly for years, the body has no other way to respond besides with panic, with stress hormones, high cortisol. And so you wonder why, after so many years of you doing the same thing, which is you pushing through, making it by hustle culture, and we're not designed to operate this way, why you develop a fibroid or a cyst by the time that you're 50, why you have the issue of your body not being able to use the nutrients that you're giving it from the foods that you're giving it day to day, not having energy, constantly having energy spikes and crashes, dealing with the itis every time that you eat. But your body is responding to what you feed it. Your body responds correctly to the correct foods. It responds to foods that make it feel safe. But when you're not getting the correct response from your body, that means you're not giving it foods. You're not giving it habits. You don't have habits that allow it to feel safe within itself. When the body is sensing the fact that you're going to put it in a calorie deficit, and you're going to restrict, and you're going to calorie count, and you're not going to give it enough nutrients, on top of the fact that you don't have enough nutrients in the food that you eat daily, how do you think the body responds to that? Panic. How do you think the body responds to having a low protein intake, knowing that you need a certain amount of proteins today because you think that you're going to fast, and you're not doing it in an appropriate light, nor are you setting your body up to fast correctly? How do you think the body is responding when you don't stabilize your blood sugar every time you eat? And so right before you went to bed, you ate a whole bunch of sugary foods, and then you woke up thinking you're going to fast for 12 to 24 hours a day, and then you break that fast and you eat junk. How do you think the gut is responding to all of the nutrients, or rather all of the fillers that's supposed to be giving your body nutrients, but instead in reality, all it's seeing it as a chemical, especially if your gut pH is not where it needs to be, because this is where your immune system is supposed to be thriving, right? But when your gut pH is not high enough, when it's not where it's supposed to be, all it can do is panic and try to figure out how can it support the digestive tract. And in reality, what this is in return happening is now you're making your liver work overtime because your digestive tract is backed up. And so then things are leaking. Things are sitting here having to get shifted around. And the liver is having to work overtime to try to figure out where can it put it? Where can it put the toxins? Because this is your detoxification place. And so over time of you being in this space, guess what's going to happen when you're not giving your body what it needs and your body senses that you are in danger? Now you have cortisol spikes. And then this high cortisol state is going to have everything else in your body depleting. Your nutrients, your immune system, your nervous system, everything is going to deplete each other because it cannot focus on its key essential functions of making it day by day and living and being happy and having the repercussions of you eating the correct things. But instead you have the repercussions of you eating terrible toxic foods. So what happens during this depletion, now you go into fight or flight mode. So guess what? Your body goes, well, we don't need to digest as much and use it as energy and nutrients and expel and release. We need to hold on to this because we might need this later on, because are we running for our life? Are we lacking food? Is there famine? Are we having issues with us being able to get to the grocery store? Like, it's trying to figure out what is going on and why you're not feeding me. It's trying to figure out why you have so many toxins. And it does not burn fat correctly, but instead it holds on to it. And so then this is a conversation of your body trying to figure out, what do we conserve? What do we release? And what it holds on to is all of the calories that you intake and everything that it possibly can to try to make sure that you are not going to starve and unalive. And so then it slows down all the other functions with your thyroid, your glucose, your ovulation, your estrogen. It causes everything to alter itself. The same thing with your progesterone, because a lot of women are dealing with estrogen and progesterone dominance, or just like one or the other or both. Because I talked about in my YouTube video, it's already posted on YouTube on my lives ago, how they can go hand in hand and how we don't understand how they impact each other, because we're so used to hearing estrogen dominance or progesterone dominance, but we're not realizing that even though you have maybe estrogen dominance, you can still have progesterone dominance or imbalances that are causing you to still have too much of both. And so you might be having estrogen dominant symptoms, but you can also be having progesterone dominance as well. It's just not as high as the estrogen dominance and the symptoms that have been pinpointed out to you. And a lot of women are not realizing that they don't just get fibroids and cysts by the time that they're 50. They're just now being able to pinpoint it by the time that you're 50, because you have all the key signs to let you know that you have specifically estrogen dominance. Because before, you're seeming like you're iron deficient. You're seeming like you have a number of issues that are pointing towards estrogen dominance. You having that estrogen dominant belly. You having an issue of anxiety. You having issue of you being able to have normal cravings versus sugar cravings. And those sugar cravings are taking you like day to day. You're sitting here saying, I have to have my sugar for today. There's a lot of people depend on sodas. A lot of people depend on candy throughout the day. What is another symptom? Chronic fatigue. Like, there are so many little symptoms and signs to let you know that you have estrogen dominance or hormone imbalances in general, but they cannot pinpoint exactly if it's estrogen dominant. But usually by the time that you're hitting 50, you're hitting either premenopausal or you're hitting menopausal symptoms, or you're having and starting those, right? And so then the doctor goes, you know what? This can be tied to this, because this is what happens when you're in premenopausal, or this is what happens when you are menopausal. And so then they can diagnose you finally, because there is no like up in the air. It could be this, it could be this, it could be this. But when you're going through the motions of what they're telling you to do over the years, you can already see the signs even earlier than what you would think you would. Because when I was younger, before I started menstruating, I don't know exactly what age it was. I know what grade I was in, but I don't know how old I was. I think, in 6th grade, I want to say. I think it was 5th grade summer, maybe like starting 6th grade, the first week of school, something like that. Like around that time I started my cycle. It was definitely within the first month of 6th grade. I started having symptoms. My mom was like telling me what was going to happen. Like, I'm becoming a woman, all this different stuff, right? But before then, I was having signs of hormonal imbalances even before I had started my cycle. I was cramping. I didn't know what it meant. I'm trying to explain to my mom what it is. She's trying to pinpoint it because I haven't started my cycle yet. So she's trying to guess. She's trying to pinpoint. And she's saying, have you had this? Have you had this? And I'm telling her, like, yeah, I think I noticed a little spotting. You've told me about this. And this is like as it's going on. So then she pinpointed, okay, you're about to start your cycle. But I was having a really, really weird time with my weight. All of a sudden, I had gained a whole lot of weight. I had hit my peak height of my life because I didn't grow after sixth grade. That was my like peak of like how tall I was going to be. Like my whole body went through puberty, but I was having a number of different signs that I was already imbalanced with my hormones. Anxiety started happening for me. I started having panic attacks around the time of middle school. I don't know exactly when. Like there was a number of different things that showed me you are not having a comfortable, regulated body. And this is not because there was something wrong with my body. The cravings that I was having, the cravings were, this was around the time where I realized like how bad my sugar cravings and my food cravings were. But in my mind, I'm thinking you're playing sports, you have to eat a lot, right? But I'm not realizing because they tell you when you're young, you can eat all this junk. You're young, right? It is what it is. Like you're doing sports, you're active, but they're not telling you this is the time for you to train your body and how to eat and crave correctly. This is the time for you to start cycle syncing so that you can eat your vegetables, so you can get enough fiber, so that way when you're starting your menstrual cycle, you're not going to be sitting here in pain and bloated. Because a lot of women don't realize that whole like, oh, I get constipated right before, and then you, as soon as you get done with your constipation, or as soon as you start your cycle, constipation is not even a problem anymore, but instead it's you stopping the flow. Then you have to understand that the reason why is because during that time, obviously your body starts to have those contractions that make you have to release the blood, if that makes sense. And so during that time of you shedding that lining, you are going to have that constriction of you having before that constipation, then after that, like, oh, you're going. That's what the body tells you. Oh, we're ready to go to the bathroom, right? But what you're not realizing is you shouldn't have that restriction before of your body having a block. And the only reason why your body has a block is because during that time of your body having a block, it's because you have not gone to the bathroom all throughout the month enough. When you don't go to the bathroom throughout the month enough, let's say that you go, I know a lot of people go, not even a lot of people go every single day, but let's just say that you are regular enough to go once a day. A lot of people only go once a day. But if you eat 3 times a day and you're only going once a day, that's a problem. Because you should be going to the bathroom every single time that you eat. And so when you don't go every single time that you eat, you do realize that you are holding on to something regardless of how much you go, because maybe let's say that you go 1 time a day, but you go for 30-40 minutes in the bathroom because you're just going and going and going, and you feel like that, okay, at least I'm getting everything out. That's not healthy. You should have a regular body, and not only a regulated body, but a regulated system that has through your cycle, through you releasing through your bowel movements, because these are release pathways from the body. You going and urinating, these are normal release pathways, and you should be doing it every single time that you eat. And so when you're not, you have to think about why there's a block, why you're not using the bathroom correctly. And during that time of you menstruating and you're sitting here trying to figure out why it's so painful, constipation is happening, I was one of those people too, and I went to the doctor and was asking, and it's made normal. We know it's a norm. It's norm for a lot of women. It's norm for a lot of women to have blood clots, cramps, you to have heavy menstrual cycles. These things are normal to you. But in reality, it's not normal. It's common, but it's not normal. Your body should not be operating this way. Instead, your body is supposed to be operating in a space where it feels not only comfortable, but it also has low inflammation. When you have a high amount of inflammation, it's going to make it more difficult for your body to be regular with your bowel movements, with you having a non-stressful cycle, you having regular, I don't want to say regular cravings, but you having cravings that are manageable. That's what I'm going to say. You not having acne, you not having all of the issues of bloating after your meals, before meals, because a lot of people apparently have the issue of being bloated before they even eat. Like just drinking water can bloat you, and that's a scary place to be in, because you have to think about how the body is absorbing and holding on to that water weight and why it's holding on to that water weight. A lot of people are dealing with the issue of, even though they slept for 8 to 10 hours, right? They're still exhausted when they wake up. And it's deeper than just, oh, you're working a job and you have to wake up early. But a lot of you are not realizing that the body did not rest during those 8 to 10 hours. All it did was go into a recycle mode of trying to keep you alive. Even though you are asleep, you are not resting. And so then in this place where you're not rested, anxiety is going to be higher. You're going to be having joint issues because you did not rest. You did not get that comfortableness. You're probably tossing and turning throughout the night, if not up and down, right? And a lot of people feel like they're fragile. Like they're not only is their emotion, they're emotionally fragile, but they're also their joints, their body feels fragile. You just feel like one move and your back is hurting, you're cracking. Like, this is not normal. This is a place of inflammation. And inflammation in the body looks like all of these symptoms. Inflammation to the body speaks and says, I'm not safe. This environment that I'm in is making you have to work harder and you're taxing more on me. So what I'm going to do is give you all these symptoms that are negative to show you this is not working correctly. And as you go on in this space and you're overwhelming your liver, and then the stress hormones are pumping through your body, your blood sugar's irregular, you're having the issues of anxiety, you're having issues of toxin overload. Guess what happens? Your cortisol keeps spiking higher and higher. And then when you hit that peak of the highest point that it can get, you have to hit a bottom, because at that point, the body is telling you, we are unaliving. I cannot trust you. I don't know what's going on. It's not just going to go to the middle and balance itself out because you finally lowered your cortisol, like they're telling on all of social media for you to take a supplement to lower your cortisol or whatever else that they're saying. A lot of you not realizing after so long of your body having high cortisol, it's going to hit a plateau of a low. It's not just because it's going to hit high and then maybe one day it'll be fixed because you take this supplement, but it's going to rebalance itself by hitting the low to try to get rid of the high cortisol. And all this does is tell your body to start shutting down more key essential functions instead of making it go right in the middle where it would be balanced. This is a place where the body does not like to be, because not only are you already malnourished, you're already having the issue of whatever hormonal imbalances, progesterone dominance, estrogen dominance, you're having issues with anxiety, you're having issues inside the gut. And then now you're sitting here dealing with a body that does not have any balanced cortisol, doesn't have any balance in general. And so then you're telling your body, this is not a safe place and I will not help you. I cannot help you. I don't know how to help you. And what you do to try to fix it is do keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. You starve yourself into being healthier, when that's not the way for you to take care of your body. As somebody who lost over 40, almost 50 pounds when I went plant-based, I've been plant-based for over 5 years now. It wasn't me just sitting here and jumping and starving myself into me being plant-based and being like, okay, I don't crave these foods anymore. But I started to replace the foods that I was eating and learning how the food was impacting my body, understanding what they were teaching us and why they were teaching us the way that they were, and how it was shifting my hormones, understanding how you're supposed to eat for each 4 phases of your cycle and how important and impactful it is, understanding that skipping a meal doesn't always mean that you're fasting correctly, learning the fact that eating clean isn't always the mindset around eating salads, but eating clean is just you understanding that maybe this is the time for you to fast because you've set yourself up for this fast correctly. And then when you break that fast, to not spike your blood sugar, we need X, Y, and Z. Learning that caffeine does not replace food. And understanding that working out doesn't always mean it has to be the most strenuous workout ever. Sometimes it's just a walk. Sometimes it's just movement and stretching. This is all according to your cycle phases as a woman. You have to know them in order for you to operate with your body. Digestion issues is a block because you are not being able to absorb nutrients when you're having issues with your digestive tract. And so you feel bloated, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like nothing is releasing because it's not. And you're not balanced enough to help the cells repair themselves, to help yourself on a cellular level, not only get oxygen and hydration, but also nutrients. And so hormones cannot stabilize themselves in this place. You give yourself thyroid issues, gut issues, liver issues, issues with ovulation, mood swings, fatigue. Like, these are a number of issues that people deal with day to day, and they think that this is normal. It's common, but it's not normal for your body to be feeling this way. Your body's norm is you feeling comfortable within yourself and understanding why. Knowing that dieting makes your body more inflamed because it tells you that there is some kind of famine, there's something that is a shortage of something, and you stay undernourished all throughout that time. And so in return, guess what's going to happen? Now you have insulin resistance. Now you're having different issues with your sleep, and you're having issues with your hormone balance overall. Just elevation of your cortisol, cravings. But instead, when you stop believing in diet culture and you start actually supporting the body, guess what? Now you're having a space of balanced cortisol. So guess what? Now you have a space where you feel comfortable exercising or getting up and getting moving, stretching, and etc. You're eating less. You're supporting the body and not having an overload of inflammation. It's not about just willpower, but it's about you understanding the stressors and the signs that your body is giving you, so that when it's giving you a red flag, when it's telling you this is a red flag, you can get rid and release it by knowing the root cause. Knowing that when you have a strategic plan, you give your body safety, and it says, I know that you're not going to just sit here and give me salads and a smoothie and starve me, but giving me plant-based proteins, giving me plant-based fibers, giving me natural food from the earth that gives you hydration on a cellular level, that gives you oxygen on a cellular level, that helps you be able to reduce your inflammation, stabilizes your blood sugar, helps your cortisol be balanced, has the healthy gut bacteria, helps your liver detoxify toxins without you having to overload the liver, having a balanced pancreas, which is your blood sugar, like I said earlier, having a balanced kidney, so that way your kidneys can filter your blood. Not having estrogen dominance, having a body that is safe, that balances your hormones. Giving yourself meals, breakfast, if you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, if you only eat lunch and dinner, if you eat whatever in between with snacks, knowing that you steady your body with the foods that you eat, and your body responds to the foods that you eat. So how is your body responding to you? Habits that shape the reality that you want, not the reality that you have, and continuously following into that pattern. Learning what that looks like for yourself is by you sitting down and learning the root cause and making a plan that actually supports you in shifting with small little changes. It's not about you just throwing yourself to the wolves and being like, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to eat anything because what am I going to eat? But understanding that it's about making those small little shifts that allow you to sit back and go, you know what? I'm actually getting rest. I'm waking up and I have energy, no more fatigue. I'm dealing with the fact that now I'm hydrated and I feel good. Now my cycle doesn't feel like a punishment. Now my stress is manageable, and I'm not sitting here feeling like I'm always constantly anxious and depressed and having panic attacks. Sitting here and having a space where not only is your digestive tract supported by your gut pH, but now you're able to absorb and use the nutrients that you're eating, that you're consuming. This is what happens when you have habits that reflect a healthy lifestyle, not diet culture, not you sitting here following another diet that does not give you safety. When you have a space where the body is finally saying, you know what, you're actually using food as medicine and I'm getting nourishment that I need, you won't sit here and complain about how you don't want to work out because you're so tired. Because a lot of y'all are lacking the energy to work out after work or whatever that you have going on, because you have a life of chaos. And it's not just work or family, but it's a chaotic state inside of your body. And the reason why you have a chaotic state inside of your body, a lot of y'all are filled up with poop. A lot of y'all are dealing with the issue of, if your gut is off, your brain is going to be off. So you have a low pH inside of your gut, and now you're having anxiety in the brain. This is chaotic. The stress hormones are deeper than just you working too hard. So you have to realize that food is safety, and your habits reflect what kind of lifestyle you're going to live. Thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate it. Hi, Elle. How are you doing? we tend to fall in the space of diet culture because that's what we're taught from a very, very young age. That's how we're taught to take care of our body. That's how we're taught to support ourselves. But in order for you to shift away from this, you have to start making a plan. You have to rebuild what regulates the body. Even if you've never known exactly how to build up the body in a correct light, you can learn. It's never too late, nor is there anything wrong with you. It's just a matter of understanding exactly what to do for yourself. And if you are looking for a space to start the foundation, to understand what that foundation looks like, to really grasp how you can shift this and change this within a couple of weeks, and you actually starting to form new habit patterns that don't seem like a full task, but are actually simplified. That is a simple process. You can book a one-on-one session with me. It is linked in my bio. I also have plenty of other things that can help you with my YouTube, which is free content, as well as my TikTok. And I also have a plethora of different like cookbooks and things like that that will support you in understanding exactly how I've been plant-based for over 5 years. I've stayed that way and I will be staying that way, as well as support you in getting started on your health journey in the correct light, not just doing diet culture, but getting away from diet culture and supporting yourself fully. So if you have any questions for me, please drop any questions that you have down below. And if you don't have any questions, I am going to hop off because I need to go to the store. I do need to go to the store because I was thinking it's a very nice day today. Today I am wearing a romper. It's such a nice day. I'm so shocked that it's a nice day. Drop any questions that you have down for me. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, all of my past lives are posted there. There's plenty of free content. If you missed this live, it will be posted on Thursday. I do post every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you are watching this later on YouTube, first of all, hello, come subscribe. Also, don't forget to drop any questions that you have down in the comments. I do respond. Share it with anybody that you are thinking that will identify with this, that will support them in any kind of way, shape, or form. I have plenty of playlists from my plant-based mastery playlist on there, as well as my cook with me, understanding purging the poison, which is like understanding labels, understanding what is going on with our food industry, knowing how to read the different toxins and chemicals and learning what they're doing to your body. So I'm not seeing any questions, so I am going to hop off. Like I said, this will be posted on Thursday, so go check it out. I hope that you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Happy Monday to everybody, and I am out, y'all. Peace.